We have a workshop beginning at 6 p.m. This is Paul. Most of you already know him. You've probably met him here at the shop, or he would have packed your order at some stage. We are going to do 2 face paint designs tonight. We're going to have fun with a Spiderman one, which Paul has volunteered to be a model and help us do. We're also going to do a really cool fairy mask. So the mask I will be doing back on paper, but Paul will have a really cool Spiderman. So the first thing though is I really just want to show you our new book. Yeah! So we're very excited by this. As you can see, it's actually sponsored by us. So this has been sponsored by us. It was written by Chantel the Fairy. Now, if anybody knows Chantel the Fairy or knows of her, she's been in the face paint industry for years and years and years. She's actually updated her book of face painting as face painting has evolved over the years. And we're really proud to have sponsored her latest version. We have these available online. It's only $15, which is a bargain. And as you can see, it goes through. Ta-da! So we have talking about face paints, tools of the trade, various hygiene procedures, techniques. We then talk about things that you might do in a one-on-one workshop, and of course everyone's at home at the moment, so it's a perfect time for that. Then we talk about things like contrasting colours, using particular products, particular brush work, what brushes you might use for different designs and why we use them. We have some floral work, which we might do a little bit of flower stuff tonight as well. I hope you guys enjoyed our workshop last week that was just on flowers. We had lots and lots of people tune in and watch it, which was really cool. Can you please tell me, the lady who asked about the leaves, if you're here tonight, can you let us know? Okay, so let us know in the comments. The lady who asked about leaves, let us know if you're watching in the comments. And this is on a delay, so we'll see it in like a minute or so. Tell us if you're here so that I can make sure I do that for you. But if you're not here, I'll wait till you're watching. Okay, so back to our awesome new book. So we've got some beautiful butterflies. This is a little bit of sponge work as well. Getting more detailed, and then we have particular designs that are extremely popular. Butterfly designs, fantasy designs, a little bit of body painting as well, which is unusual for a face painting book, so it's really cool that it goes into that sort of detail. And then sort of like fast designs that you could do on the job. So pick this one up. We only have so many, of course. It's only $15, and we just wanted to really make sure that we just openly plug that because it's a great book and we're really happy about it. We also launched today a brand new face painting kit, and the kit includes this book. So the face painting kit that we have launched, it's called the Stay at Home Face Paint Kit, and it's stuff for you how to face paint at home with your kids. So we know that it's been quite difficult for parents that are trying to do remote learning with their kids at home, and in particular for learning art online. I know that I've got some friends who are art teachers, and they found it it's quite difficult, to try and teach that online, which is one of the reasons that we've created our stay-at-home face paint kit, which is available at thefacepaintshop.com. It has everything that you want to face paint at home, including this book, including face paint, split cakes, brushes, sponges, glitter, a practice pad. It's got everything that we could possibly put in it for you to paint at home, and it's under $100. So pretty good. Please jump online. We really appreciate the support. We appreciate how much you're helping us to keep going, and in return we're gonna keep listening and do what you're asking us for, which is a way to do art and to do face and body painting at home, and if we can help with that. So our awesome book, our new face paint kit, please jump on to thefacepaintshop.com and see what else we have to offer. Cool, there we go, there's our plug. Let's get into some actual face painting now. Okay, so how good is that? Right on 6 PM we'll start our actual face painting. We've done our plug now. I hope that everybody, got the point. Please go to thefacepaintshop.com. We're still posting out deliveries daily. We can actually do it contactlessly. So as we actually pack everything gets sanitized. We have everything contactless. The postage gets picked up, which is also contactless. It's sanitized several times throughout the process. Like it's pretty strict around here, and I think that's one of the ways that we can still provide face and body paints across the world. The other thing that we just wanted to make sure that we told all of our family and friends that are face painting at home or considering face painting is that all of the face paints here at the Face Paint Shop, they actually have antibacterial agents built into the paints. Okay, so they actually kill off any germs or anything as a normal structure, something to do with the current times. But because there is an antibacterial agent built into the paints, it actually kind of kills off any germs and keeps it sanitized as is, which is pretty awesome. So do keep that in mind, when you're painting and when you're considering face paints, of course. Okay, tonight we're going to paint tonight we'll be eating. Tonight we're going to paint 2 different designs for you. First, I have a really cool Spiderman one. It's not a full face one though, it's just a really simple, really cute, I don't think they call it a cheek design, but it's not, it's a forehead design. Profile. My profile design.
Yes, I do speak. Sorry, I'm a bit quiet.
And then I'm also going to do a really cool fairy mask later on, which you'll love. The fairy mask will be a lot more detailed. The Spider-Man one is a really simple one that you'll be able to do at home and that you can follow along. So, for the Spider-Man, I'm actually going to paint it up here on Paul's forehead, but it's a great one to also paint on the back of your hand. You can paint it on the cheek, but I like it on the forehead because I think it kind of looks that little, it's a bit more nicely positioned. But you can definitely do it on your hand, or if you don't have a model, pop it on some paper just so that you're still playing and still, following along. All you're going to need for the Spider-Man is red, black and white. Okay, so nice and simple, nice and easy. Spider-Man is a nice simple one, so just red, black and white. I'm going to start with my red. Okay, so there's my cool looking red. And I'm going to use a slightly larger brush. So this one, I think it's about a number 6.
Similar to a number 6.
Yeah, about a 6 or so. So it's a bit of a larger brush. You don't have to, you can use a smaller brush and just paint that bit more. I'm using a larger one because then I can do a larger area at once. I like a round brush because I'm about to paint something round, so kind of makes sense. You can also use a sponge or a dabber, but because I'm going to paint a circle, you kind of want it to be a circle sponge, so you do get that nice shape. Okay, so I'll just wet my brush. And I'm going to load up my red colour here. So the way that I load my paint, because people ask all sorts of questions like that, is I go around in a circle. Okay, and the reason so, I guess it's because it's the way I was taught, but then it's a nice even distribution, so my paint will wear out sort of evenly over time. And I'm getting paint on the whole bristle. Okay, I've got nice and red here. By the way, I know you're a little bit further away. I'm going to bring the camera in so that you can see a lot closer later, okay? So I will bring it in. We just, we've only got 2 people here, of course, like everybody does. So once I finish painting, we'll be able to bring that camera in a little bit closer. So I'm just painting nice red circle. And that's all. It doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't need to be like a perfect circle. Like so. Nice red circle, nice and simple. Okay, while that's drying, I'm also going to do just a little line coming down out of Spider-Man, a little bit further out. These are actually going to be his arms once I finish painting, but for now, they're just red lines. But that's okay, you'll see what I'm doing later on. Okay, so that's all for now. Okay, I'm now going to swap over to my white, and I'm going to grab a different brush. Okay, this brush, it's just a detail brush. It's a pretty generic brush, to be honest. It's probably be maybe a 2 or 3, but it's just a brush. Okay, so what I'm going to use the white for is I'm going to paint the Spider-Man eyes in. Now this is the, to be honest, I think probably the only tricky part of this entire thing, and the reason being is because you want it to be a particular shape. One of the ways that we can tell Spider-Man from, you know, just a mask is actually the shape of the eyes. The eyes kind of go, and hopefully you can see this, they kind of go like this. You see, it's this kind of shape. So that's what we're going to paint up here as well. So I'm using a nice little detail brush so that I can get that detail, and then I can get it to be that nice perfect shape. Well, I mean not perfect, but I can get it to be a pretty decent. That's going a little bit pink on me, but that's alright. That happens sometimes. Okay, cool. So I've got this cool little Spider-Man eyes happening there. Okay, I'll put my white down for 1 sec now. And of course I'm being very good and putting everything back in the right spot. Of course, yeah. I'm not. Okay, now I'm going to grab my black. The black is basically going to outline everything. So it's going to turn these kind of random colours into Spider-Man and into what we know as a really cool looking Spider-Man shape. And into something I think recognisable. The thing about face painting is that you don't need it to be perfect. You know, you don't need every shape, every design, every line to be perfect. What you're looking for is recognisable. So you want someone to know what it's meant to be rather than what it actually is. And I think that's one of the joys about face painting. It doesn't need to be a perfect, realistic, photo quality looking tiger. It needs to have lines, and for a child or an adult to recognise that that is meant to be a tiger. Which is good, it means that you can have that little bit more fun. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is outline Spider-Man's eyes here. And you can see that straight away that already looks a bit more realistic. Okay, I'm going to outline the face part, so the circle basically. So I've outlined that one. Okay, now I'm going to add the actual Spider-Man lines. Because it's so small, you don't need to add a lot of lines or else it'll be overcrowded. So I'm pretty much going to draw across. There we go, so we've got that cross happening. And then I'm going to draw the actual spider lines. So the spider lines, the way that they work is that you kind of do this shape and follow the lines around, and you'll find that that will be the most realistic looking spider web. So we're going to do that across the face. In the areas that I can, I'm doing 2 little spider lines. And you do want them to match up with each other just because, I think for the sake of having it neater, you know, it does look that little bit better when it's all matched up. Now, if this was a full face, You'd absolutely have a nose, you'd have a mouth, you'd have other parts. Because it is only a little tiny one, we don't need to worry about it. Okay, next I'm just going to outline his arms like so. And again, it's more about the illusion of what we're painting rather than it being super realistic, because it's not. It's definitely not realistic.
Caricature.
Caricature, yeah, absolutely. Okay, now I'm going back to my white. I'm just going to paint away some of that red from earlier because it's making my white go a bit pink and we want it to be white. So all I'm doing, by the way, is just kind of circling the paint, and the pink is, I guess, evening out. Okay, cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint the same lines that we did over here on the face. And it looks like this spider web is kind of shooting out of his hands, which is really cool. And I'll do one on the other side as well. So you can either, shoot it out of his hands around the eye, like what I'm doing. Or you can make it a bit more straightforward and come, like exactly out of that part. I'm then just going to give a couple of little highlights, just to kind of show that, there is a little bit of art. I'm going to paint over those eyes to make them a bit whiter, because they were just that touch pink. And I'm going to add just, not too many, but just a couple of little kind of highlights. Just so it stands out and looks really cool. And there we go, finished. Now if you wanted to, you could do the spider webs in black, give it a bit of an outline in black. You could add more detail in, you can add a whole bunch more if you want to, but you also really don't have to. And that's what I love about this design, is that it's a cool, quicker than a normal Spider-Man, more or less. It's obviously, a bit less, a little bit easier to paint, and it's fun. And it's something that adults happy to have, teenagers happy to have, it's just like, it's a really cool little one. I'm going to grab that camera, I'm going to bring it closer, so that way you'll be able to see exactly what I've painted. Oh, just getting that. Okay, so we're bringing that closer now. And just turn your head, Paul. There we go. So very, very simple. Definitely not, the most amazing artwork in the world, but that's not the point. So you saw earlier that I painted the red first, the white, some Spider-Man lines around his face, some arms, and the webs coming out of the hands. Really cool effect. Cool, okay, let me know if you have any questions about that one, anything you want me to go over or anything like that. Otherwise, we are going to now get started on our fairy mask. Okay, we're going to get started with that one. So I'm going to bring you over here and set you up. And we'll start painting away on our fairy mask. And I'll actually just put a microphone in as well so that you can hear just that little bit better. So let us know who's out there. Paul is now on the computer, which means that if you have any questions, anything you'd like him to answer, please let us know. Hi to everyone who is watching, and a big hello to Emma, Debbie and Sky, because I know that Sky is loving watching these face paints, and that Debbie has been watching and joining in, which is fantastic as well. Okie dokie, so we've got a few new products that we're playing with this week. The first one, which is really, really cool. Oh, it's the wrong way around. Oh, okay. No problem. Sorry about that, everyone. We'll just fix that quickly. Oh, okay. That's all right. We'll just go this way instead. Maybe we can just figure out how. Sorry, everyone. Turn, turn, turn. You can't rotate your phone while live. Right, okay. Well, there we go. That answers that one then. That's fine. We'll bring you over like this. Sorry for that little weird interlude. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. We'll start that one again. So, as I was saying, we've got a couple of new products this week, and we're going to play with some of them. The first one being this one here. This is our new practice faces from Tag. They're pretty cool. They're really good at they clean really well. So when you're painting with them, you can paint and then just wipe it clean, which is a really nice little thing. I have noticed that the colours are not quite as bright as they could be when you're painting with it, but hey, if you're only practicing at home, it probably doesn't really matter that much. Okay, hopefully we can just move in a little bit. Cool. So we've got lots of really cool things that we've been playing with, and I'll just set myself up now that we're going landscape instead of portrait. How's everybody coping not being able to actually go out physically and face paint? Are we all doing okay? Okay, beautiful. Have we heard from the lady who wanted me to paint leaves? Have we heard from her? Do let me know if you're here so that I know, if that's something that you'd like me to do. I'm not the most amazing with leaves, so if you're not here, I probably won't do it, to be honest. Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is I either want you to grab a practice space like this. Now it can be, one of these fancy ones. We sell just really simple laminated ones as well. If you've got a model, fantastic. Definitely use them. If you don't though, totally fine. Just paint on some paper, but please draw a face first. Okay, just because I want you to try and follow along with an actual face. So if you don't have an actual model or someone to follow with, please make sure that you draw a face. I'll give you a few seconds now to do that. There we go. Okay, has everybody drawn their faces? Great, We've been watching lots of things online this week and lots of live videos and that sort of stuff. And we found that every single one had had some type of technical issues. So it's about time that we had one as well. Okay, so this is going to be my face here. I'm going to be using this split cake. It's from Tag, it's called Rainbow 4. And what's really cool about it is that it's just a really straightforward, easy rainbow. It's not neon or anything like that, like a lot of the fusion colours, but it's just a really easy, I think a very medium rainbow. So it's nice and useful, basically. Okie doke, so I'd like you to have a look at your face over here and have a look at, say, you've got your two eyes here, some eyebrows, nose and a mouth. And actually could kind of follow it along in the same way that you'll be putting your makeup on. So I've wet my brush here and I'm loading up my rainbow. Now this is a brand new split cake, as in, first time I've used it. So I do need to load it up just a bit more than I would if it was a paint that I had used lots of times before. Okay, beautiful. Now come over to your face, and the first thing I'd like you to try and do is just measure it out a little bit. So we see we've got a nose here, and I'm just going to pop a little line following my nose. Okay, so that's about my center. Okay, so that's going to be my focus point. That's my focus point of probably this entire design. Okay, it's just this center here. Not to say that I'm not going to paint the rest of it, I am, of course, but that's going to be my center focus of this design. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a little shape like this. So it just goes up and across. Okay, up and across like that. So the way to do that, there's a few different ways that you can do it really, but just so that you get that shape right. And you might already have it perfect, I don't know. But try doing this for me. Just draw yourself out a little hopscotch, a little one like that, a H, I guess, like that. And you're going to start in this square and finish in this square, and by going over this line in the center.
So I've got a suggestion of maybe putting this under the Praxis face and the paint shop a bit better.
Sure. Okay, so you can see that we're going to go up from this side and finish in that side. So up like so. Okay, so you see how I started here? I didn't move my brush around at all. I just went up, across, and up. Cool? Okay. Now, somebody would like us to put white underneath the paper. White underneath. There we go. Is that better? Is that easier to see now? Let us know in the comments if that is better, so that you can see it a little bit better. Cool, okay. So we figured out this little wave. And we want it to be nice and even as well, so I'm just looking at my colours again. So we're going to bring this just over the eyebrows. So I start here, I'm going to end about here. Like so. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And all I'm going to do is just tip my brush the other direction and do the exact same shape. Try not to overthink it, because it's really, really easy to kind of get into your head and try and go, oh, how do I do that? What do I do? What do I do? There we go, okay? Exactly the same shape, just on the other side. Okay, cool. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to come down the side like this, but we're going to be doing this little shape like that. Okay, so it's basically a teardrop. We've already been doing this in the last few workshops, so if you've been playing along, you would already know this shape. So we're going to do some really cool little teardrops just coming down the side. I'm going to start with one right up here, overlapping my little wave, and the next one is going to come down right next to it. Now, as I come down the face, I'm going to go in a shape around the eye like that, like a bit of a mask. What I'm going to do, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my brush around so that I get a different colour on the edge, just because that's a really cool effect. Okay, and then I'm actually going to make my little shapes just slightly smaller, and smaller again, smaller again, smaller again, smaller again. And you see how that's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as it's come all the way around? Like so. Looking good? Awesome. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I might even need to actually count how many I have. So I've got 1, 2, and then a different one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That comes all the way down. So I'll start off, and yes, I am turning the page, by the way. It's actually because I've got metal beams that are holding the camera up, but my brush keeps hitting them, so I have to turn it just that little bit. Okay, so in the exact same shape over here, and I mean, ideally, you'd love it to kind of follow on from the eyelid, like if you're doing like cat's eyes. See how this one actually does? But, you know, look, see how you go. Okay, so I've got my shape over here, another one underneath, and then I turn my brush around, it's a bit of variety. And then I'm bringing my little U's, getting smaller, 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 and finishing pointing up towards the eye. Pretty? Looking good so far? Awesome. Okay, cool. So from there, you will find that if that's just over on an actual person's face, that's actually enough because that's quite close to the eye. Because it's on this paper here, I'm just going to fill in the insides just that little bit. I'm going to flip my brush around so that way my purple lines up. Am I? Yep, I am. And I'm just going to give it just that little bit, like so. And that's just to kind of go over my eyelid to make sure that it's nice and bright and looking really effective. But if you're on someone's face, I really wouldn't bother about it because this brush is actually quite close to an eye to begin with. Okay, so we've got that happening. I'm going to put my brush or my split cake aside for now. And just as a reminder, that was the Rainbow 4 split cake from Tag. Okay, I'm now going to bring out, this is just a finger dabber. There's lots of different types of these. There's ones that are on sticks. There's these ones happen to fit over the fingers, but there's lots of different types. It's basically a little sponge, but a little tiny, tiny one. Now you can use them for lots of different things. They're usually a different type of sponge than a normal one, so they pick up that little bit less face paint, which is great. You can use them for stencils for that as well. What I'm going to do is like a gemstone effect, which I'm going to show you now. So the first thing I'm going to do is just spray my sponge or spray my dabber with a little bit of water. So the reason that I sprayed my sponge rather than dipping it, and this is with all sponges, is because then I've got a nice even dispersion of water. But if I dipped it in water, it's going to be saturated. So, okay. Cool, so there we go. So what I'm going to do now with my little dabber is I'm actually going to pick up a split cake. What are we going to use? Let's go with this purple one. I like this one. This one is called Twisted Pastels. It's from the Diamond Effects range. And with my sponge, I'm going to drag it through the colours. Like so. And you see how I actually have that stripe effect on my dabber now. So if I put that down on paper, I need a little bit more water, sorry. Now if I put that down on paper, then what I'm going to get is stripes happening, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put it right here in my centre. You know how we talked about this being the focus point? So right here in the centre, I'm going to twist it, just that little tiny bit. And then I'm going to put another one here and there. And because I've twisted it, I actually get this cool looking gemstone kind of effect, which is really great. The other thing about face painting is that if you, if you put something in the wrong spot or if something isn't quite right, that's totally okay. Just wipe it off and do it again. And Paul's going to pay attention and he's going to pass me one of those serviettes there so that I can wipe that off. There we go. So as you've noticed, I don't really like the position of this one. It's a little bit off center. It's fine, like it doesn't really matter. However, it's going to bug me. And the cool thing about face painting is that if I don't like it, I'll just wipe it off and redo it. Okay, so I would have preferred that to be more like there, so we'll just do it again. There we go, that's better. That's made my OCD brain a bit happier. Okay, cool, so we've got these really cool gemstones happening. I'm then going to pick up another colour, and I want a nice complementary colour. I'm going to use this one. I really like this colour. This is teal. It's from the Fusion range. It's just a really, really cool effect. Might actually go a little bit darker, but we'll find out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just outline very, very gently my little gemstones. You don't want it to be too thick. That outline, you don't want it to be too thick because it kind of takes away that really lovely shape that you've got happening. And then I'm going to give it just a little bit of texture. Okay, so just giving it like a little bit of light and shade there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is kind of turn these random colours and these random sort of shapes into a mask. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline this pretty wave that we did earlier, and we'll bring that down a little bit. So follow along and outline your wave with me together. This is also a great time that I can match this up a little bit more as well. So when I was doing my wave, on this left side, it wasn't as lifted, but on the right side it was a bit lifted up. So I can just even that out with my outline, and you see now they're pretty straight. There's a cool little cheat tip for you. Okay, so we'll bring it down, and I'm just going to outline all these little pretty waves as well. And on the other side, same deal. Okay, and now I'm going to connect the gemstones up so that it's all part of the one design. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to... We're going to get some more water on my paint first of all. Okay, so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring it down into a little swirl. And you can see that that is now connected to this rainbow shape that we have happening. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. There we go, this pretty little shape happening. And then I'm going to do the same thing to connect this circular one, but I'm going to do it in the opposite way. And because I've got that same colour that's outlining it and going all the way around here, it does look like it's almost like a jewellery or something. It's kind of connecting everything together, which I think is a really lovely effect. There we go, like so. Okay, are we liking this one? Tell us in the comments, let us know. Tell us if there's anything that you'd like to know further about what I'm painting, or the colours, or the shapes, or anything like that. Please do let us know. Okay, I'm now going to use a different colour, and I think we'll actually just, I can't use white because it's, normally I like using white for this sort of effect because it's a really light sort of pretty colour. Can't do that because you won't see it on the white board, but that's alright. Okay, so I'll use purple instead because you see I've got this purple in the split cake, so it's all going to kind of match up. Okie dokie, so what I'm going to do is first of all we'll bring this down like that, just a little line, and just pushing my brush down to get like this nice little petal effect, this nice little pretty shine. Okay, now I'm going to get nice and close, and I'm going to do some little tiny lines. Okay, so that's all I'm doing, but I want them to be nice and even. And on the opposite side as well. And you see you get this really cool looking lace effect. And all I'm really doing is just painting little lines. Okay, so I'm not really painting lace. I'm not really doing anything overly dramatic. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing up here. Just in the white section that we have, that our swirls have made. Okay, so just some really cool, really light, use the very, very tip of your brush. So if you're getting really thick lines, it's because you're pushing down too hard. Make sure you're only really using the very, very, very tip of your brush. Okay, now I'm just going to give that a little quick outline with my purple. And that's purely just so that everything is connected and kind of looks really pretty and matches.
a little bit of practice, by the way, just to get that nice kind of smooth shape. And the way that you can do that is with some of the exercises that we've already been doing, of practicing the amount of pressure that you're using with the brush, how you're pushing. There we go. So we've got this really cool lace effect happening. Now, just so that that all matches as well, I'm going to come down to my lips and give her some purple lips. Why not? Purple is a pretty cool colour. If Libby's watching, these purple lips are for you, because I know you love purple. I've managed to go over my my lines here with my lips, but that's alright. Okay, and then just to kind of finish it off, we'll just add some little dots down here. And the reason I'm doing this is purely because it balances out the picture. So I've got some purple down here at the bottom that matches the purple that I've got at the top, and it just gives you that more even picture and makes that design really have that nice shape about it. Okay, then all I would do is add some sparkles. Now, if you wanted to have like just a general sparkle like that, I would definitely use a puffer bottle like this, because then I'm going to get like just a general sparkle across the whole lot. But if I wanted to have sparkles in just one spot, what I'd do is I would grab either a wet brush or a brush with a little bit of paint, and I would come over and just where I want the actual sparkles to be. And you see the sparkles will just stick to those areas more so than the others. There we go, we've got that really cool effect happening now. Okay, cool. What do we think? Do we like that one? Is that one that, you know, step by step, it's nice and easy and nice and simple to use? Okay, we've had a few people ask to please get a little bit closer. I'll do that for you now. Give me just a sec. Okay, there we go. So today we used the Rainbow 4 from Tag. I used a teal and a purple from Fusion. These sparkles are from Tag as well. And the pastel with the dabbers is Twisted Pastels from Diamond FX. Okay, so that's what we used today. And of course that sheet is from Diamond FX. Sorry, it's from Tag. Okay, hope you liked that one. Is it something that you liked? Fantastic. Let us know in the comments. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd like me to do, if there's anything more, anything different. The other thing that you could do as well, especially when you are painting something like this, is grab, just to kind of fill it in, because it is painting on, you know, a sheet rather than painting on someone's face. And especially if you're doing this, I don't know, for like a design to display or something like that, is, to be honest, I would then come in here and just blind the lady. Totally blind her. Which I know seems ridiculous, but there's something about white space on a design that just doesn't quite look right. There we go, totally blinded, but we've gotten rid of that white space, which, even though it's odd because of course now this poor lady is covered up and can't see, it does actually look even that better because we've got rid of the white space. Beautiful. Hope you love that one. Please get in touch. Please tell us what you think. Make sure that you give us lots of comments. Please share these videos as well. Please share them. That's what helps us get, you know, more people that watches it and helps us to keep going and do more. So please share them with your friends and family, even if you don't think they'd be interested in face painting. Like, you never know, and there might be other people that, you know, they share things with and go back and forth. So please share. Please jump on our website, thefacepaintshop.com. We are absolutely operating. We are absolutely posting things out daily. All of our products are sanitized. Everything's nice and safe and completely great for home. And as you know, we have set up that brand new kit, which is the stay-at-home face painting kit. So jump on our website. Thank you again, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.